Welcome to Global Byte. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Tonight, America's green card system faces its biggest test in years. The rules that have shaped the lives of millions are now under intense scrutiny, and the outcome could change the course of countless futures. New laws and court battles are reshaping what it means to build a life here. Across the country, lawmakers and judges are debating who belongs and what it takes to call America home. This isn't just about policy. It's about families, communities, and the future of the American dream. Every decision made in Washington or in a courtroom ripples out to living rooms, schools, and workplaces across the nation. For decades, the green card has meant stability and a path to citizenship. It's been a symbol of hope, a promise that hard work and perseverance can lead to a better life in America. Now, that stability is threatened by new proposals and a pivotal Supreme Court case. Families who once felt secure are now facing uncertainty, unsure of what the future holds. These changes could decide who stays, what benefits they can use, and what rights they have when traveling. For many, even a routine trip abroad could become a risk. The public charge rule could make it harder to get a green card if you or your family use certain public benefits. This means that choices about healthcare, food, and housing could have life-changing consequences for immigrants. Meanwhile, a Supreme Court case will determine if green card holders can be denied re-entry based on accusations alone. The stakes are high, and the outcome could set a precedent for years to come. States like Indiana are also passing strict new laws, creating a patchwork of rules across the country. Depending on where you live, your rights and opportunities as an immigrant can look very different. We'll break down these developments, hear from experts, and see how families and the economy are being affected. From legal experts to everyday workers, everyone has a stake in what happens next. This is about the promises America makes, and who gets to share in them. The story of immigration is woven into the fabric of this nation, and its future is being written right now. The stakes are high, and the outcome will shape the nation's future. Let's dive in and explore what's at risk and what's possible in this new chapter for America's immigrants. To understand today's changes, let's look back at the green card's history, a story that stretches across generations and continents, shaping the lives of millions who dreamed of a new beginning in America. Introduced after World War II, the green card became a symbol of welcome and opportunity. For many, it was more than just a document. It was a lifeline, a promise of safety, and a chance to build a future in a land of hope. It granted immigrants the right to live and work permanently in the U.S., and was a stepping stone to citizenship. Families could reunite, children could grow up with new possibilities, and communities flourished with fresh energy and ideas. The 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act ended quotas based on national origin, opening doors to people from around the world. This landmark law transformed the face of America, welcoming new waves of immigrants from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Since then, the process has grown more complex, requiring sponsorship, paperwork, and years of waiting. The path to a green card became a journey filled with uncertainty, hope, and sometimes heartbreak. Green card holders enjoy most rights of citizens, except voting and some government jobs. They contribute to the economy, serve in the military, and enrich American culture in countless ways. But immigration policy has always shifted with political winds, swinging between expansion and restriction. Each era brings new debates, new laws, and new challenges for those seeking a place in America. The last decade has seen fierce battles and growing uncertainty for those navigating the system. Families are separated, rules change overnight, and the dream of a better life can feel just out of reach. Today's changes are the latest chapter in a long, contentious history of defining who gets to call America home. The debate over immigration is as old as the nation itself, touching every generation. The green card remains a powerful symbol, but its meaning is being tested like never before. For some, it still represents hope. For others, it's a reminder of the barriers that remain. The journey is harder, the rules less clear, and the stakes higher for millions. Every application is a story of perseverance, sacrifice, and the pursuit of belonging. As we'll see, the impact of these changes reaches far beyond paperwork. It shapes families, communities, and the very fabric of American society. It's about the future of American identity, about who we are and who we want to become as a nation. And for many, it's about whether the dream is still within reach, and if America will continue to be a land of opportunity for generations to come. Green card holders now face a storm of new rules, court cases, and state laws. The landscape is shifting rapidly, leaving many families feeling uncertain about their future in the United States. Every new headline brings a fresh wave of anxiety, as policies that once seemed settled are now up for debate. The Supreme Court is set to decide if lawful residents can be denied re-entry based on accusations, not convictions. This decision could have far-reaching consequences, potentially changing the lives of thousands who have lived, worked, and raised families here for years. At the same time, a new public charge rule could penalize applicants for using public services. Even basic support like food stamps or healthcare could now be counted against them, making everyday choices feel risky. States like Indiana are passing strict laws forcing local police to cooperate with federal immigration agents. These measures are part of a growing trend, as more states take immigration enforcement into their own hands. These anti-sanctuary laws are dividing communities and raising questions about trust and safety. Neighbors find themselves on opposite sides, and local leaders struggle to balance enforcement with compassion. The Bondi versus Lau case asks if green card holders can lose their status over accusations alone. The outcome could set a precedent, making it easier, or harder, for people to defend their rights. The proposed public charge rule gives officers broad discretion to deny applications, creating fear and confusion. Many applicants now worry that even a temporary setback could mean the end of their American dream. Families may avoid food, housing, or healthcare help, worried it could jeopardize their future. Parents are forced to make impossible choices between their children's well-being and their hopes for stability. These aren't minor tweaks, they're a fundamental rewrite of the rules for immigrants in America. The legal language is complex, and the stakes are higher than ever before. The result, growing instability for people who once thought their place here was secure. For many, the sense of belonging is now shadowed by fear and doubt. The legal and policy battles are far from over. Advocates and opponents continue to clash in courtrooms and on the streets, each side fighting for their vision of America's future. The outcome will set the tone for immigration in the years ahead. Decisions made now will echo for generations, shaping who gets to call this country home. And, for millions, the uncertainty is real and immediate. Every policy shift, every court ruling, is felt in living rooms and kitchens across the nation, as families wait and hope for clarity. The new public charge rule could redefine who is allowed to stay in America. For decades, only long-term dependence on cash assistance counted against green card applicants. Now, the proposal gives officers wide discretion and is vague about which benefits count as negative factors. Using a food bank or enrolling a child in Head Start could be held against an applicant, or even if their family uses these benefits. A similar rule in 2019 caused widespread fear, leading families to withdraw from essential programs. Research showed a chilling effect. Even U.S. citizen children lost access to food and health care. The new rule threatens to bring back that climate of fear, but on a larger scale. Over 5 million U.S. citizen children live in households with at least one unauthorized immigrant parent. Families must now choose between their children's health and a loved one's legal status. The Department of Homeland Security admits the rule could harm children's health and education. The impact could last for generations. The stakes for families have never been higher. These policy changes have a real human cost. Imagine a family where a parent's green card application could be denied because their children receive school lunches. Fear drives parents to choose between their kids' needs and the family's future. In 2019, many immigrant parents unenrolled their citizen children from vital programs out of fear. The new rule could make this even worse, trapping children in poverty and instability. For long-time green card holders, legal uncertainty means even a trip abroad could risk permanent separation from family. The green card, once a symbol of permanence, now feels fragile. Families live with constant anxiety about their future in America. The consequences ripple through communities and generations. The Supreme Court's Bondi versus Lau case will decide if green card holders can be denied re-entry based on accusations, not convictions. Mook Choi Lau, a green card holder since 1986, was denied legal admission after returning from abroad due to pending charges. The government argues border officers should have broad authority to deny admission. Lau's lawyers say this violates due process. Residents should need clear evidence against them. Lower courts are split, so the Supreme Court will set a national standard. If the government wins, millions could lose their right to return home over mere allegations. Experts warn this would erode due process and make permanent residency feel provisional. The decision will shape the rights of immigrants for years to come. States like Indiana are taking immigration enforcement into their own hands. Indiana's new bill forces local police and jails to cooperate with ICE, bans sanctuary policies, and threatens funding for non-compliance. Supporters say it's about public safety. Opponents warn it erodes trust between police and immigrant communities. Law enforcement groups argue these laws make everyone less safe, as immigrants may fear reporting crimes. Critics also point to constitutional concerns and financial burdens on local governments. The bill now heads to the Indiana House, with debate intensifying. The state-level battle reflects a national divide over immigration's future. Experts warn these new policies make the immigration system more restrictive and uncertain, even for those who follow the rules. The public charge rule's vagueness creates fear, leading families to forgo essential aid for their children. Economists say this harms the future workforce and the U.S. economy. Legal scholars argue the Supreme Court case could erode due process, creating a second class of residents. State-level laws, experts say, break trust between police and immigrant communities, making neighborhoods less safe. Victims may not call for help and witnesses may stay silent. The consensus: these policies, while framed as law and order, could have unintended consequences that harm everyone. The debate is about more than law. It's about the kind of society America wants to be. The impact will be felt for years to come. The stakes could not be higher. Tonight, we've seen how new rules, court battles, and state laws are reshaping life for millions. The green card's promise of stability is under threat. The public charge rule could punish families for seeking help, risking children's health and futures. The Supreme Court may weaken the rights of lawful residents, making them vulnerable to removal on accusations alone. State laws add confusion and division. The move is toward more enforcement and less clarity, creating fear among families trying to follow the rules. The outcomes of these changes will shape families' lives and the nation's character. This is about fairness, due process, and the promises America makes. For millions, the ground is shifting, and the horizon is uncertain. How this chapter ends will define a generation. That's the story for tonight.